Is there a major shift taking place in NASCAR? What will happen if NASCAR drivers continue to commit mistakes in 2023? Will the fine serve as a wake-up call for everyone following Bubba Wallace's retribution penalty? Do you want to know what's going to happen? So, NASCARians, don't go anywhere and stay tuned to NASCAR Zone as we discuss more on this. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. The NASCAR new season has begun, and the fire of the new year has already started. So strap in as we talk about what's going on in NASCAR with the new rules. At the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum on Sunday night, Bubba Wallace and Austin Dillon were the ones who set off the pyrotechnics. During the NASCAR preseason clash at the Coliseum, the two drivers frequently found themselves in a battle for position, switching places at the front of the pack on a regular basis. Dillon and Wallace were in an excellent position to make a run for the checkered flag when there were only 10 laps remaining in the race, at least up until Dillon rear-ended Wallace, which sent the number 23 vehicle spinning out of control and eliminated Wallace's chance of winning. After the race, Wallace moved to Twitter to share his open thoughts on Dillon's move, indicating that he was unimpressed by it at the time and that he still feels that way. Let's just say that Wallace's lack of nuance is not one of his more endearing qualities. Before the subsequent restart, the driver for 2311 Racing made sure to make his feelings known on the track, as well by swerving his car into Dillon's in an attempt to get his attention. Immediately following the conclusion of the dust-up, both drivers expressed their opinions. It shouldn't come as a surprise that they had conflicting perspectives on the occurrence.
I don't know if I was letting it get too cold or letting it get too hot. And then once I fell back to fourth, I realized I was letting everything get too cold. And so I was kicking myself for that, but quickly adjusted. And I got back going, and the three just never trying to make a corner. He just always running to my left rear. It is what it is. I got running to the fence by him down the straightaway on that restart, so I gave him a shot, and then we get dumped. So it sucks. But y'all are looking for something, but I ain't gonna give you nothing.
Dillon explained that his behavior was a response to the dynamics of the race that took place on Sunday.
I hate it for Bubba. He had a good car and a good run, but you can't tell who's either pushing him or getting pushed. I just know he sent me through the corner, and I saved it 3 times through there, released the brake, all kinds of stuff, and then when I got down, I was going to give the same. Probably it was a little too hard, but Get By Ethanol Chevy was pretty good. It's beat up, used up. Teammate let me go try and get Truex at the end. That was nice, and yeah, it's been fun. Hopefully we can do this more often.
If you had seen the game on television, you would not have realized that Wallace was given a penalty for the strong retaliatory motion he made. Yet, Wallace was given the penalty. This information became public a few days later in the NASCAR Weekly Penalty Report when he was charged with reckless driving. It is interesting to note that the punishment led to the generational question: should supporters anticipate more severe punishments from the sanctioning body in 2023? Bubba Wallace strikes back, and as a result, he is ticketed for reckless driving. Bubba Wallace finished in second place in his heat during the preliminary competitions that took place before the clash at the Coliseum and qualified for the main event. The 29-year-old driver demonstrated early on in the race that his vehicle could keep up with the competition by taking the lead for many laps and even into the break at the halfway point. He maintained his place inside the top 5 throughout the second half of the race and was in a position to contend for the victory late in the event until Austin Dillon lost his cool and caused the number 23 vehicle to spin out with 7 laps remaining in the race. After all of the other vehicles had passed, Wallace was finally able to get his automobile turned around, and then he waited. When the car that ended up winning the 2018 Daytona 500 was getting close, the driver of the 2311 racing car drove his vehicle down in front of the Richard Childress racing vehicle. Dillon was forced to escape colliding with the inner wall of the quarter-mile track by running into the door of the Toyota, as there was nowhere else for him to go. The two drivers collided multiple times, yet the entire incident lasted for fewer than 5 seconds until the irate motorist pushed ahead of the other and sped away. Fox showed Wallace sitting in his car immediately after the race, looking appropriately unhappy about his performance. But they never noted that he had been placed at the back of the field and punished for reckless driving. What are your thoughts on the retaliation made by Wallace? Let us know in the comments section below. And also, do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more updates. In the previous season, there were many instances throughout the season in which the sanctioning board did not impose any punishments on drivers who were involved in situations that were comparable. One incident involving Dylan and Brad Keselowski occurred in New Hampshire. During a caution period, the RCR car swerved in front of the number 6 car, and Keselowski immediately responded by making a hard left into the door of the number 3 car, riding it down the track before finally backing out and hitting the right rear, which sent the car fishtailing into the infield grass. Keselowski was not penalized. If the conclusion that the governing board made regarding Wallace in Los Angeles was applied to the situation a year ago, Keselowski should have been put to the back of the field at the very least. After Texas, William Byron was given a severe penalty by NASCAR for dumping Denny Hamlin during a caution period. This penalty included deducting 25 drivers and owner points from Byron's total and fining him $50,000. Keselowski, on the other hand, was not penalized in any way. However, that penalty was unique due to the fact that it was brought to public attention after NASCAR mysteriously missed the event during the race and then decided on it days later, only for the National Motorsports Appeals Panel to later lessen the penalty after it was initially handed down. Although Bubba Wallace made news at the season-opening exhibition race, Martin Truex Jr.'s win was at the top. It was a messy event, and the Wiz Khalifa halftime show might have been the most entertaining part. The Busch Light Clash was a 150-lap race that was moved from Daytona International Speedway to the Coliseum last year. With 25 laps to go, Truex took the lead. In a bold attempt to try something very different, NASCAR built a temporary quarter-mile track inside the famous venue. People thought that last year's race was a huge success because it brought in a lot of new fans and because the organizers tried something new and innovative. NASCAR knew it would be hard to repeat its success when it came back, and Sunday's race wasn't very good. There were 25 cautions, and laps run while the yellow flag was out didn't count, while last year's race only had 5 yellow flags. Truex, who didn't win a race last year and thought about retiring, put Joe Gibbs racing in the winner's circle to start 2023 after a terrible end to last year. The Cup Series will start at Daytona International Speedway for the season opener on February 19. So buckle up the seat belts for that. What are your thoughts on the exhibition clash at the Coliseum? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel to see more of our videos on NASCAR updates. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.